prayer is one of those, it's like a really obvious point in Christianity. Well, prayer, you gotta have a prayer life. Here's how you pray. Here's what prayer is. We've all heard sermons on, how many sermons on the Lord's Prayer. I was teaching on this, a men's Bible study recently. I was teaching on this subject kind of after writing the praise letter, which was entitled Prayer Warriors. And I said, how many of you guys were involved in athletics when you were in school? Most of them were. Asked what sports, and it was everything from hockey to soccer, baseball, football, all the major sports, basketball, then some other weird exotic sports too. So then I asked, tell me what were some of the things you did to prepare for your particular sport? What were the exercises? What was the training? Then the next question was, if you looked at the whole of your athletic career or life, game time, playing, practicing, everything that represented your involvement in that sport, how much of it was preparation, how much of it was actual game day? And we concluded that probably at least 90 and probably closer to 95% was all preparation and training. Game day was just this really very small moment compared to the preparation. And I asked the guys, I said, and probably a lot of you know this, but I asked them, I said, do you know how long an NFL football game is? And of course, right away, 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Well, sometimes they're a little under 3 hours. And I said,
you meant playtime.
Right.
Minutes.
An NFL football game, actual playing time is between 11 and 12 minutes. In other words, from the time the ball is snapped until the whistle's blown and that play is over, and if you total up all that, let all that accumulate, actual playing time in a 3.5 hour football game, NFL, is 11 to 12 minutes. Now you think of those guys off season, on season, weight training, sprinting, conditioning, nutrition, sports psychologists, everything they do to compete at that level, to play 12 minutes on a weekend. Okay, let's translate that then to prayer. If we're not exercising our prayer life, if we're not spending time, disciplined time, interceding, talking to the Lord, why would we expect to have success in our prayer life? Why would we think that we'll be prepared for the difficult moment that may come? And trust me, it will come, not because of just my experience. My experience has nothing to do with it. Jesus said, in this world, you will have tribulation. Mark it down. We live in a sinful world. We dwell in corruptible bodies. The tough days will come. Always have, always will. How do you prepare for that? Prayer is going to be a really, really key component of dealing with those tough times. But if you have not prepared yourself, if you don't know how to talk to the Father, if you don't have a meaningful prayer life, it's too late when the bad news comes to start trying to dig your way out of it. Now, God's great love and mercy, He doesn't turn His back and say, well, I'm sorry, you weren't praying enough, so you're just going to have to tough it out. But I would rather enter into a storm with a boat that's been all sealed up and the sails are in good shape and it's seaworthy than having just let it sit around on the beach rotting and fatiguing, and now the storm comes and I hop in the boat and hope it's going to float. A lot of people do that with their prayer life. They just kind of hope it's all going to work out when they haven't spent any meaningful time.